What's going on, dreamers? My name's Acer, and in this video, I am going to be going over everything that I've done in regards to my RPG project. This is kind of like a devlog update kind of video. I've been working on an RPG game for the last month, and I figured it would be a good idea to update you guys on what's been done. Now, this is hopefully one of many of these type of videos specifically for my RPG game. I might do it once a month. I might do one every time I add something significant. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys prefer. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so here we are. Before we get started, since this is the very first one, I kind of just want to go over what this game is, like what I'm going for. So let's start with the combat. The combat, so I've been told, is quite similar to Dark Souls. You have a light attack, you have a heavy attack, you have a parry, and you have a block. Other than that, it's not that similar, but so there's no dodging, there's no rolling or anything. Combat is not the main focus of this game, but it is an important part. It is an important part of it. So that's the combat. How about the actual gameplay? I'm going to go for something like RuneScape. If you don't know what RuneScape is, that's okay. The idea is that you're doing two things. You're trying to make money, and you're trying to just complete quests. That's what you do. There's going to be a lot of different side quests, and then there's going to be a main quest, maybe a couple main quests. I don't have the story fleshed out yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But yeah, so the art, loosely based off of Animal Crossing. No offense to Animal Crossing, but yeah, and I'm doing the majority of it too, and that's not necessarily one of my strengths, but I'm working on it, and this is a great project to work on that. So anyway, yeah, RuneScape gameplay, so like a lot of quests, leveling up skills, getting money, Dark Souls combat, heavy light attack, parry, block, and the art you can see. So with that out of the way, let's go over like what I've done in the last month. The last month being January 24th to today, February 27th. Let's start with the inventory. That was the very first thing I actually worked on. When we press the touchpad, we have a bunch of items that I've already picked up. You navigate the inventory with the D-pad. You are able to pick objects up with the cursor, drop them wherever you want. You can drop them on top of another object to swap what's in the cursor, and you can actually press square to swap places if it is legal. So we can't swap a fish with a sword. I'm trying, because a fish isn't a main hand weapon, but a pickaxe is. You can also, in-game, expand the inventory, as you see. Right now it's on a button press, but it's definitely going to be something you purchase in the future. And on the right, you can see your character. And you've probably already noticed, but there are slots that you can equip different things. You can't put a sword in any slot. It has to be, for a main hand weapon, rather, in any slot, it has to be type 5. See the 5 right there? For example. So if I pick up a shirt and some pants, they go in the shirt and pants slots respectively. Okay, so is that it for the inventory? No, there's still one more thing. This gate to change scenes, it's in the dream. Here, let me show you. So in the dream, this scene that I'm in is linked to a duplicate of itself. This isn't a different scene. It could be, of course, but it's essentially linked to itself. What this does is simulates going from one scene to the next. So with that out of the way, when we change scenes, the inventory is respawned exactly how you have it. So that is another very, very important feature of an RPG. If this wasn't implemented, I would essentially have to do the entire game in a single scene, and if you left the game, you would completely lose all your inventory and essentially all your progress. So the fact that this inventory saves and reloads is very, very important. think we should go over basic combat now. So as I've already said, depending on the main hand weapon, rather, what animations you have or what attacks you have depend on the main hand weapon. For example, if you equip a fishing pole, you get a sweeping attack, and then you get the cast attack. This deals a lot of damage. 20 is relatively a lot. I'm going to make it so fishing poles don't deal as much damage. So everything on the main hand has an attack. For example, the pickaxe has a pickaxe animation. Now, some tools, such as the pickaxe, don't have a secondary attack. I think I will give it to it, though. I think all main hand weapons should have 2 attacks. That makes sense to me. So I guess I'll just go through all of the weapons right now. We also have an axe, which has a separate attack. And finally, the sword, which I think I've already shown off, but I'll just show it again. You have a quick attack, a stab, and you have a sweeping attack. Now, all these attacks have multipliers, so this quick attack deals less damage compared to the sweeping attack, and it's multiplied by the base damage of the weapon. What else for combat? You have a parry, which doesn't do anything yet because I haven't done enemy combat yet, so there's nothing to parry, but the animation's there. And blocking, which same sort of thing, doesn't do anything yet. But basically, parrying, if you parry the attack successfully, it will stun the enemy, and if you take damage when your shield is out, you'll take less damage. So what else is there about combat? That's pretty much it related to combat. See, this first video is kind of tough because, like, it's not an update, it's just everything I've done so far. So there's a lot to go over. Let's go over, like, resource collection and skills and stuff like that. So there's 3 resource collecting skills in the game: mining, wood cutting, and fishing. There's 2 other skills that aren't combat related, which are taming and smithing. Taming is how you get mounts, and smithing is how you create stuff. Taming and smithing aren't in the game yet, but fishing, mining, and woodcutting are. Now, I don't have the menu yet, or like the display, or anything related to the skills, XP, like level-wise, but the actual, like, activities are worked on. So let me show you. Here's mining, and I mean, just as an example, if we try to mine ore with a pickaxe, with an axe, and to mine you just attack, right? You just attack it. You get, like, the hit, but you don't deal any damage to it. Now, if we attack it, and that's what I'm going to call it, attacking it, because that's what you're doing. If you attack it with a pickaxe equipped, the ore spot will die and drop an ore, and we can just keep doing that. I plan on having multiple types of ore that have various amounts of health, and I plan on your mining level and your pickaxe level / rarity, or tier, I guess I call it, to affect how fast you mine, how much damage you deal to the ore. So to just go over that again, your all armor and weapons have a level. And to level it up, you invest resources into it, probably using your smithing. And the higher level these things are, the better they are. So, for example, the pickaxe will just straight up do more damage. Now, it doesn't do that yet. You can't level things up yet, but that will be in the future. Let's go over woodcutting now. So if we equip an axe and attack the tree, you guessed it, we'll deal damage to the tree, and the tree drops logs. And once we take the logs, it'll take a little bit, and then it respawns. And I'm missing. So it's respawn. So that's wood cutting. Very, very similar to mining, and I would like to differentiate it I'm not sure how. I may go the Fortnite route and add weak points to the tree. We'll see. We'll see. For example, a way to differentiate it is how I did fishing, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So, if you attack in front of a fishing spot, you'll end up fishing. The line you'll know it's working if the line goes out and you start the fishing animation, and eventually you'll get some quick time events like this. And if you succeed 3 in a row, you catch the fish. Depending on the fish you've hooked, and you don't know what fish you've hooked until you catch it, but depending on the fish you've hooked is how fast or how difficult the quick time events are. So the blue was the medium. Oh, wow, that was really quick. That was weird. I don't think it should have been that quick, but I don't know. That might have been a bug. Anyway, let's try to catch another fish. Hopefully we get a different one than blue. This appears to be green. This seems to be, yeah. So that was the green fish, which is even easier than blue. Can we get a red fish? Let's find out. Hey, we got a red fish. There it is. That was pretty lucky because it's a 1 in 3 chance, obviously. So blue, green, red. Now you'll see that each of these have values. I'll be going over that later, and they all have different values. They're all the same model recolored. That will change. That will 100% change. How many different types of fish will I have? I don't know. And the type of fish, the fishes you can catch, this isn't implemented yet, but the fishes you can catch is based on your fishing level. So you just straight up won't be able to catch more difficult fish until you level up fishing. Similar to RuneScape. And similar to mining and woodcutting, the rods, your fishing poles, your fishing rods level, as well as your fishing rod's tier. So when I say tier, I mean like a wooden fishing pole or a fishing rod, a metal fishing rod, a magical fishing rod, stuff like that. That's the tier. So the tier, the level, and your fishing level will affect how fast you catch fish, as well as how hard the quick time events are. Anyway, those are the 3 resource gathering skills. So I don't think I'm going to add more. Maybe I will. Who knows? But yeah. Let's go over selling and buying items. So I have a shop here, and you'll see some items on the ground, as well as a prompt to enter the shop. Let's go over buying first. So the way I have buying set up is any item that's dropped from an item spawner. This is more on the development side, but I can set any item that's on the ground to be purchasable. By default, you can just pick stuff up. So now it's in our inventory. Oh, and I should probably go over this before I forget. There's 3 types of items. Weapons and armor, which have a level. Resources, which have nothing. A level, which don't have a level or a quantity. And stackable items, which have a quantity. So you can pick multiple of them up, as I just did there. But anyway, as for stores, some items I can set the items that are on the ground to require money. So right now we have $3 dollars. So if I try to pick this one up or buy it, it will say you cannot afford this. You need 66 more money. So I'm pretty happy with how that is. I need more info to be displayed when you hover. Right now it's just the level, which is not very helpful. But anyway, let's go to selling now. And so we can hover over something and press triangle, which will sell. Now you'll see that this redfish has a value of 50 and it's offering me 60. This specific store has a multiplier for specifically resources such as fish. My thinking is that certain stores will pay more for certain types of items. So that entire system is set up. So let's sell. Let's say yes, and you'll see now that we have 63. So let's sell a couple more things so we can afford that sword. There we go. Perfect. So if we press square, are you sure you want to buy for 69? And I press yes. And now we have the sword. Bam. Oh, and you can see the value is 69. So now let me try to pick up this one. And it says, you cannot afford this. You need 68. So I have 6. So the value is actually 74. Now, you're probably wondering, it's the same sword. How do they have different values? The way I have this set up, I can hard code or programmatically set the price. The price is not bound to the item, which is really nice. So certain stores can sell the same item for different prices, which is pretty cool in my opinion. The second to last thing is mounts. So we have this mount here. Currently, we have the dodo bird, chocobo, an antelope, whatever you want to call it. There are 10 variations of this. The rarer they are, the better they are, as well as the bigger they are. Size doesn't really matter, but size will help you judge how good it is. So with that being said, we can ride it around. The mount also has an attack. I'm going to balance it around. I'm going to balance it so that the mount's attack isn't great, but it's decent. So I don't want because the mount can die, right? So I don't want the mount to be completely defenseless. But anyway, so the mount has an attack. The mount has, you can see it has health. For some reason, that health is 0 out of 75. I think there's a bug where the attack is dealing damage to itself, which is interesting. If I press triangle right now, it will level up. You'll see that the health increases, the damage will increase, and the level will increase. And the health also resets. Every time it levels up, it gets more damage and more max health. To level up your mount, you'll have to train it using the taming skill. You can also damage your mount, so try not to do that. Try to keep your mount safe. And another cool thing is if we exit and go back in, our character as well as our mount is in the exact same position as when we left. So that means you can actually leave your mount in a different scene, for example, and then when you come back to the game, it's not going to spawn right next to you. It will be wherever you left it. So try not to lose your mount, basically. I'm considering late game having an item to basically summon your mount next to you, but I want you to have to take care of your mount, right? You can't just leave it next to a bunch of enemies and assume it'll be just fine. It will be able to defend itself, but not very well. Now, obviously, if you leave it in a different scene, when the scene is not loaded in, it can't die or anything like that. But the idea is you need to keep track of where your mount is and try to keep it safe, or you'll lose it. Oh, another cool thing is if you're riding your mount and you change scenes, or if you just leave, come back in, you will spawn on your mount. Now, leaving and coming back in, that doesn't really matter, but changing scenes, you're still on your mount. So you won't have to like remount every single time you change scenes, which is nice. And that's it. That is the entirety of what I've done in the last month. So guys, that's it for this video. If you want to play this right now, search RPG test level, or better yet, in case the name changes, just search my account, Acer, in Dreams, and it should be the thing all the way to the left. You should be able to easily find it. And it's playable right now. Anyone can play it. You can test it out. Give me feedback. I'd love to hear it. Give me feedback in the comments. Give me feedback in Dreams. I'm building this kind of with the community. I'm mainly making the decisions, but I'm taking in a lot of feedback, and it helps a lot. So I would love to see you in one of my Twitch streams where I'm making this. I don't know if the next video is going to be an update on a main feature or if it's going to be another 1 month update. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I haven't done something like this, but I'd like to do it more. I stream. So as I said, I stream Dreams on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you'd like to see me, oh, it looks like I leveled up. If you'd like to see me create this RPG, definitely catch me while I'm streaming. And I also have a Discord and a Twitter that you should also check out. I hope to see you later, and have a great rest of your day. I just wanna be